Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm not even going to say good morning or afternoon. It is evening, and it is the eve of the North London derby. And if we can't be excited for this, no point being a football fan. I'm seeing doom, I'm seeing gloom. We're going to get battered. Who knows, right? It's a North London derby. Let's go into this with a little bit of positivity. Benji's here, Lee's here, a few other people will be passing through as the night commences. How are you, gents? Is everyone good on this Saturday evening?
Yeah, really good, mate. You?
Yeah, all good my end, mate. All good my end. Lee, you all right?
Feeling my age, mate. Taking up this playing football just like the Premier League guys do every Saturday afternoon. It's catching up with me. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, wow. Feeling your age. Yeah, I do hear you. I do hear you. I had a couple of beers last night, nothing mad. And when I woke up this morning, I wasn't hungover. I just felt tired. You know, when you're like, I was only out for about 4 hours. I felt tired and drained. Anyway, guys, it is the North London derby tomorrow. And I want to start a little bit of a campaign to bring a little bit of fun back to being a fan of a football club. I feel like, I know I'm part of the YouTube world, but I feel like a lot of YouTubers kind of made football not fun anymore. All I hear is negative. But how do you guys feel tomorrow? Like, are we excited? Arsenal game, you looking forward to it? Does it get you in the mood?
It's a North London derby, right? It's the matches that we look forward to every year. Irrelevant of what our feelings are about where our team is, where Arsenal is, etc. Listen, I just want our boys to get there on the day, and I just wanted to give them a challenge, right? No matter the outcome, just go there. It's at the Emirates. Don't shrivel up. Just make it fun for us to watch. That's what we want. We'll watch exciting matches, right?
Yeah. I mean, Benji. I mean, Lee's right. We want to win, lose, or draw. We want to be in it, don't we? We want to know that the team are. Yeah. We don't want a repeat of Chelsea. Basically, if we lose, we want to go out swinging and fighting and see what happens, right?
Yeah, for sure. Above all else, we want a performance, right? If anything, a performance at the very least. Look, for me, I'm excited and I'm terrified at the same time. Got my opinion. I think Arsenal are possibly the best team on the planet right now from what I'm seeing this season. So I'm a little bit nervous. But you know what? For as Spursy as we can be when we lose, and this is, call me crazy, we can also be a bit Spursy in the way we win. And what I mean by that is sometimes, you know what I'm trying to get at? Sometimes we win when we shouldn't. So who knows, mate? But it's exciting either way.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, I don't know about the best team on the planet, but they are definitely one of the best teams in Europe, aren't they? They are, actually, you're right. Yeah, they are bloody good. I'm seeing Liverpool lose 3-0 at home today to Forest, seeing Man City losing away at Newcastle, and it just goes to show Arsenal are the best team in the country right now. Lee, does that put? First of all, do you agree with that? And second of all, does that mean that all the pressure tomorrow goes on Arsenal? Like, is there pressure on us from the point of view that I don't think anyone's expecting 3 points from Tottenham?
I wouldn't put them in the category of being the best on the planet right now. I think some of the matches that I've watched have been plain boring in Arsenal, and other games they've won. Some of the games I don't think they've won convincingly, but the pressure's got to be on them, right? I mean, they're the one that have got to keep up the momentum of where they are. They can't have another 8 points clear, start losing it, especially not this early in the campaign. So I think the pressure's on them. It would be nice to go there. Listen, I know I said we want entertaining football and we want this kind of stuff. We want a good match to watch. But can you imagine the feeling of being really stubborn and nicking something like a point or a win at Arsenal, and that's the catalyst for them not winning the Premier League or something like that? That would be amazing. That would be better than anything, right? So, listen, I want us to. I think the pressure's on them. I just don't want Spurs to not show up. I don't want them to shrivel and shit themselves. If you're going to put it honestly, go there and give them a match. If we lose, we lose, but go there and give them a match. Put all the pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think whether or not people think Arsenal are exciting or not, I think the problem is, Benji, is they don't lose games of football and they hardly concede goals. Now, obviously, all football fans have a different, what do they enjoy watching? Some people like defensive football, some people like transition, some people like all-out possession. But Arsenal, I don't want this to be a let's all glaze about how great they are, but I can't remember them losing. I mean, they've lost to Liverpool right this year. I think if I'm not wrong, I think they lost to Liverpool away. I don't think they've lost another game they've played, have they? I don't think they've lost.
They've had one draw to my thing. I mean, look, it's the age-old thing for me, the age-old saying. The sign of a good team is to and listen, to Lee's credit, he's right. They've not played pretty football at times, absolutely, but they've still grinded out results, and they do say that is a sign of a very good team. But that's what worries me about Arsenal now. There's a different dynamic to them. Before, it was winning pretty. Now they'll win at all costs, and that can be, whether it means sitting back, soaking up, or whatever it may be. Going for first set pieces. So there's more to their game now, despite the fact that, admittedly, it looks their football is not as pretty as it once was. But that's what worries me a bit, because there's more to them. So there's more ways for them to come at us. I just hope, like you boys are saying, that we turn up, because I feel like, and I hate to say this, I feel like they owe us for Chelsea. That was a really poor performance, and things have improved since. We've had a couple of games that we've been better, so hopefully it's up and up. But for me, we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, the overall feeling for the game tomorrow is excitement. So I know it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Lee, isn't it? Because look, I mean, I don't think you'll find many people who are actually saying we're favourites. I feel that if anyone is saying we're favourites, I feel like they've bumped their head. But we've seen today, Nottingham Forest have gone. I'm not saying it's a peak Liverpool team, but this is Nottingham Forest, bottom three, can't win games. They've gone to Liverpool, picked up some points. Newcastle have beaten Man City. Is there any reason, Lee, why we can't get anything out of this game tomorrow? Are we that far behind them? Are they that good that we can't get anything?
No. On the day, anyone can get a result anywhere, right?
Yeah,
depending on what team turns up. So, I think I said to someone the other day, you have to look at it if you look at it from a data perspective. I mean, our last 10 matches at the Emirates, we've scored 10 and conceded 22. So history tells you that we don't do well at the Emirates, and that's with a raft of different people's teams and setups and stuff like that. So if you're a betting man, you would say that the likely outcome is that it's going to be a loss for us. But anything can happen on the day. I mean, all 11 of those guys can turn up on Sunday, really want it, and they're the ones that the confidence just drains out of them, and we get a result. But that's all. We won't know that, and until that whistle goes, and what mindset those guys walk in there with. Wasn't there just a question as well? Was there a behind closed doors friendly in the week as well? I heard
Spurs.
Yeah. I heard there was a behind closed door friendly as well.
There was. No idea who it was against, but it definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what I do know is what I'm seeing in the last sort of 24, 48 hours is it looks like we're starting to get some players back. Now, it's always difficult, Benji, because when players come back, I think sometimes we don't take into account that they've been out injured or they need some match time. They're not all going to walk straight in and be amazing. But we're seeing Muani could start with the face mask. We're seeing that Kudus is back fit, which is a big plus for us. Some green shoots, right? Some positive vibes going into this game, right? That some of these players are back and fit and give us a different dimension, Benji.
I mean, I think the main positive is that there's a chance if Muani does play that Richarlison doesn't. So, I mean, listen, straight away, that's a win for me. I will just say something to credit Frank. I do like the way he deals with players and their injuries. He's absolutely, I mean, you know, it can be jarring at times, but he's absolutely plays everything safe with players. Whereas we've seen in the past with Ange, he sort of maybe brought back players a bit too early. I like the way Frank does that. He makes sure he's there 100% ready. And I think that's great. But look, as far as Kudus goes, is he definitely back?
I believe so. I mean, Thomas Frank said yesterday, didn't he, that Sarr and Bergvall both trained, Kudus trained, Muani's available. I'm pretty sure that he said didn't Dragusin, Davison, have started training again as well. So I mean, I haven't seen.
They were in. So if you watch the training thing that they put up on the website or YouTube earlier, Dragusin was definitely training with the first team. Ben Davis was. I don't remember seeing Kudus or Muani. But hey, I thought Kudus's knock was just for one game, and it's been international break now, so he should be available. I don't see why not, unless it's worse.
I'm pretty sure wasn't Kudus touch and go for the game before?
That's why
the international break. Was it Man United?
Yeah,
it was Man United. Yeah, I know Kudus was touch and go. So you'd like to think that in this 2 weeks he's recovered. I mean, he's a big part for me. I think when I watch a front three with and without Kudus, the drop off for me, guys, is massive. I think it's genuinely massive. When you see Brennan Johnson start out there, or Tell, or whoever else is up front, the drop off from Kudus for me is huge. I think he's a big player for us.
Absolutely, I don't disagree. I think he's probably the biggest player that actually makes things happen right now, right? Just with the way that he plays, his movement, he takes people on. It just opens the space up. He's invaluable.
He's the one player, Lee, as well, that when he gets the ball, I feel could do something. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like I don't ever watch Tell or Richie or Johnson and think they're going to do something where I go, cool, that was brilliant. But with Kudus, you never know. And if you don't know, it means the fullback doesn't know, right? So I think it's a real positive for me.
I mean, to be fair, you know, a few of our players are coming back in a good vein of form as well. I mean, to my knowledge, Xavi scored on international break, which is good for him, good for his confidence. So who knows, that might play a small part. Johnson, I don't know. I know he's not like the main man, but I don't know if anyone called Johnson's goal for Wales. Good Lord.
Yeah, I saw
nice.
Brennan Johnson's goal for Wales.
Benji, stop it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. He's another tail. It's another deflection. Keeper of that covered, apart from the deflection. But my point is, though, 100%, he scores a goal and everyone's going mad now. It's got to start. It's got to start the next game. It's absolutely just doesn't take away from the bang averageness of the rest of his game, but whatever.
Yeah, we do this a lot, don't we? We do this a lot. It's like after the game against Man United, suddenly Odegaard and Tell are the greatest two forwards in the history of Tottenham Hotspur. Do you know what I mean? But
I think Odegaard's coming good, boys. I do. I think he's starting to come good. You can slate all you want. I genuinely think there's a bit of spark.
Hang on. You said Odegaard, and then Sean turns up in the street like a Batman signal. But yeah, look, on a serious note, the difference for me, guys, that Kudus makes if he is available, I think it just gives me that little bit of belief in the fact that he can take a man on, that he is going to make their fullback worry. So I think that's a positive. But Dan, Sean, welcome. Have either of you? Do we know if Kudus is fit? I mean, I haven't read too much this week, but Kudus is available, right? I think to play.
Everybody's either training or full on the grass and fully fit, apart from Decky, Solanke, and Madison. So
okay.
No excuses anymore. No excuses anymore.
Well, he said, didn't he? Frank actually said this week. He said, "I've got decisions to make." With that being said, guys, I mean, I don't care who takes this, and I don't want to go round in a circle. We just have a general chat. who does play tomorrow? Because if all these players are back fit, he has got decisions to make, hasn't he? Who goes on the right, who goes up front, who's in the 10, who's in centre. I mean, he's got decisions. So what are we expecting to see tomorrow? Like, because let me caveat last thing because I genuinely don't know what our best 11 is. So I genuinely don't know anymore what to expect from an 11.
I mean, expecting or hoping? Because if it's hoping, for me personally, I hope Frank takes some initiative this time round and plays a free back, because the way Arsenal play, they've got that one holding. They sort of play a 4-3-3 with the one holding CDM, and then Rice and Jesus, who's the other one?
Eze.
Rice and Eze. Thank you. Rice and Eze like to push up a bit.
And so Zubimendi sort of sitting in as the deep line playmaker.
You know, so I'd like to see a 3 at the back tomorrow, because I feel like that'd be a good way to nullify it. I do hope, and this may sound a tinge negative, I do hope we don't go with the 4-2-3-1, because man for man, they're just a better team than us, and there's nothing wrong with that. So for me, God, I hope we see a 3 back. I really do. Really, really do. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
It'll be exactly as we think it will be. It'll be a 4-2-3-1. He won't change it. The only position the only position I think that is probably quite important tomorrow, and I'll give my opinion on it, is I think Spence has got to start at left back against Saka, because he's probably our best one-on-one defender. And if you're going to nullify that, you're gonna have to put in there. I don't think Udogi's fit enough or had enough game time to do it. So yeah, Spencer's got to start for me at left back.
So, and you don't think there's any way he goes to a back 3? Let me. I've stringed with you probably less than the other guys here. Every time I turn on a channel at the moment, it feels like everyone is talking about we must go to a back 3. Must go to a back 3. Where are you with this argument? I feel like it's become this craze now that everyone automatically thinks if we go to a back 3, we're transformed and we need to do it. Where are you with this?
It's not. I don't think it's Frank's go-to. I think you might see it develop into a back 3 if a game calls for it to happen. But he doesn't generally start with a back 3. I've looked at a lot of his masterclasses and stuff like that, and it just doesn't seem to be his. He always starts with a 4. So I don't think it's going to happen unless he truly believes that we can't match him unless we go to that kind of formation, which I don't want Tottenham to do. I don't want, because you know what ends up happening. You say it's a back 3, but it ends up being a back 5 because we get so much pressure on us. I don't want that to happen, so I don't think we'll see a back 3. I don't even accommodate that conversation, but we'll see. Maybe he changes our minds. Maybe he does.
Sean and Dan, I know you two have been. I was going to say peddling. I don't mean that in a bad way. I know you guys have been running this. You guys want to see a 3 at the back, right? Would you do it tomorrow? Is that the game where Frank goes, we're going to stifle Arsenal, we're going to show them something different tomorrow? Is that the game?
The question is he going to take that risk tomorrow, and how are we going to play tomorrow? Are we going to play to win the game, or are we going to play not to lose the game, like we seem to be doing at home, trying to play not to lose the game? Basically, I don't want us to do that. I obviously want us to go and play for the win like the rest of us. I've been saying for 2.5 years now, 3-4-2-1 looks best on that team. So that's nothing fresh with me saying that coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I still think on paper, and I can only go by on paper at the moment, if you put player for player on that pitch at what each player is best at, bar Kudus, who you'd push in the middle, who can cope with that place easy, it does look like the best formation for the players. Will it work? Only time would tell if you watch it. Is it the time to do it? Possibly not. I mean, away at Arsenal, is that really the time to start messing about with things? The main thing I just want to see here is I just want to see us go into this and have a fight, basically, and not do what we did with Chelsea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we went a back 3 tomorrow, because I don't think that would be the worst idea for the amount of attack we're going to have on us. They're going to have full ball control, most probably, and they're going to be all over us. That is how pretty much I think everyone is expecting the game to go. But is it the time to take that chance? And do we have enough fit players to play that way as well without having to squeeze players into positions or whatever to make up for it? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's the formation I want to see us do, but is it the game to do it? I think is more the question.
Well, Dan, I think that's a really good point, because it's catch-22, isn't it? With any manager, they live and they die in the football terms by their decisions. I just don't know whether Arsenal away in the North London derby is the game where you start fiddling about and try out a new formation. That's my worry. Dan, I've said before, I'm not against it. I'm not against seeing a three at the back. I just think that it's a big risk. I don't know if Benji and Lee, I feel like it's a big risk to suddenly go, right, let's go three at the back. We've played it once, right, which was against twice. Which other game did we play at?
No, I think we switched to a back three in one of the matches, didn't we?
PSG.
Yeah, PSG and City.
PSG, we started with a back three and City.
Yeah.
Against City, did we play three at the back?
Yeah.
City basically forced us into it.
Yeah, City and PSG.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah, but City. Yeah, but we started with a back four, didn't we, against Man City? We had Bentancur, Paulinho, and Papa Sarr in the midfield three with Richarlison, Kudus, and Johnson, right? So we've started with three centre backs once, right?
Yeah.
We started with three centre backs once, which was against PSG. We'll talk about the PSG game in a bit, because obviously we've fucking massive week this week, by the way, isn't it? Like, it's not just Arsenal away; we've got PSG away as well. I don't know. I'm stuck in the middle. I'm stuck in the middle of this, Benji. Is tomorrow the day where you go, right, we don't play this way? Go on, do this in what is the biggest game in the eyes of the fans?
I mean,
that game you experiment.
For me, I mean, because I've seen it twice already this season, I don't know if I'd call it an experiment, because it's been wildly successful for the most part. I mean, I understand it's not something we play regularly. I totally understand that. But, you know, as Dan has alluded to in the past, it does suit the players we've got at the moment, or Kudus. And because I've seen it twice, I don't really deem it an experiment. I mean, the only thing I would do, and God knows...
Twice, we've done it, when you're saying twice, we've done it once. We've done it once against Paris Saint-Germain. And that was a game where we didn't have any of the football, right? Like, this is a game where PSG had all of the ball and we were good. Don't get me wrong, we were very good. But isn't half the problem that fans want to see us play more attacking football? So I'm just...
That's fine. You know what? Actually, funny you should say that. So that PSG game, I watched it. I actually felt we had a massive amount of control in that game. It was only towards the end, the last 20 minutes, they really started to take over, which is fine. But yeah, fans do want to see attacking football. I want to see attacking football, but you don't have to be defensive in that formation. You can still take a lot of control of the game. The only thing I don't want to see, and I shouldn't say this because I love the guy, I don't want to see Pedro Porro anywhere near that game. Just going to throw that out there. I personally think, I know Lee was saying a minute ago, he thinks Spence should be on the left. I actually think you should have Udogie and Spence on the right, funnily enough, just because Porro's a bit of a liability. But no, yeah, for me, I'd be over the moon if I see a start with a three back, personally.
You see, going with a back three, an experiment. Is it really an experiment and changing players to what they're not used to? Because out of the five we play at the back, four of them always played in back three. Romero, back three. Dragusin, if he was to play there, back three. Porro, wing back.
No, you're right.
Udogie, wing back. Porro is not a right back. That is one of the problems. If we are to start with four at the back tomorrow, I totally agree with Ben. I'd rather start Spence on the right because he is actually a right back and Udogie on the left. But then people will ask the question, same as I will question it as well, is Udogie going to be enough to deal with Saka as such? It's all ifs, buts and maybes. But I don't think going five at the back, three at the back, whatever you want to call it, so much of an experiment for a lot of these players, because I think like the majority of the back lot have always played with a back three or played as wing backs. So I don't think it's so much of an experiment for them as such as what some people might think. Oh, you're totally changing the formation, totally. Well, no, they pretty much always played that way. This is why we don't see the best of Porro, because he doesn't get to play in his main position as a right wing back. He's been put as an inverted wing back, an inverted right back, and a right back when he's a bloody wing back. And then whoever's playing in the middle, two centre mids, they're obviously used to doing that there, and however you want to do it up the front. I don't think it's so much of an experiment for the players as such, but again, is it the game to do it? I think if he was to go and do it,
of course, it's an experiment. It's got to be an experiment because they're training as a back four, so they're not training as a back three. So of course, it's going to be an experiment. It's going to be. It's going to turn out as it is on the day. And to be Dan, just to agree with you and caveat what I said earlier, my opinion, I do think that we probably have a team that's suited to a back three. And I do agree that I've seen Udogie and Porro play as wing backs, and I think they are effective. So I wouldn't be against playing a back three. I just don't think Frank sets that formation. I don't think we've been training that way. Therefore, I wouldn't do it tomorrow against Arsenal because we haven't been training like that. But I don't disagree I think we probably have.
I mean, he did it with Brentford quite a few times playing a back three. He did do it there, but it wasn't the main formation he used. But he did. That was what he was known as, chopping and changing and being able to adapt to the game, and then even willing to adapt formations to games as such, not just certain players to certain bits. For a lot of the players, I don't think it would be a big experiment as such, because like I said, the out of the back five, pretty much 4 of them would be, that is their main positions, how they've always held it. And I don't think it'd be the worst idea. If he goes and does it, there's going to be, I think, half the people, let's say 40% of the people are going to sit here and say, do you know what? I see your point. Fair play. Let's see where it goes. And then there's going to be 40% that sit there and just go, what is he doing? He's crazy. He shouldn't be doing this. And then you're going to have the 20% in the middle that just shrug their shoulders and say, let's just go with the flow, I think.
Dan, I just want to confirm. So when we're talking about, is this essentially what we're saying?
Yes, because basically, you can call it a 3-4-2-1, a 5-2-2-1. When it comes onto the defence at you, obviously the 2 wingers drop back as far as they can. Wing backs drop as back as they can to try and cover you at the back. But yeah, that is basically it, a 3-4-2-1. And the thing is with that formation, the way they've done it in Italy for a long time, you can go out and out defence in that and just defend. But you can also go all out attack from your defence forwards, basically, because you've got 3 defenders sitting there, a central defender who can push up that the rest of it can charge it if you're playing it direct, basically. If you're playing it direct.
Yeah, look, I think it's a really interesting talking point, by the way, the 3 at the back. And as I said, I've never been against the idea of it. I've always said I feel that we need more centre backs available to be able to play it in case of injuries. But I've got nothing against it. But I feel like, Lee, let me come to you. I feel like he's in between a bit of a rock and a hard place now because, and by him, I mean Thomas Frank, because whatever he does, what we've seen is we're all so different. The fan base are all very different. You've got those who are like, right, back 3, it has to be, it makes sense. There are those that are saying, definitely don't want to see it. Have a look, even on this panel, you've suggested Spence should go left back. Other people don't want Spence left back, want Udogie left back. Some people want Porro right back. Some people want Spence right back. Some people want Muani. So other people want Tell. Some people want Odegaard. Some people want Simmons. Isn't the problem that Frank's got, Lee, is that he can't keep everyone happy because we don't know our best 11 and this is what he's got to work with. Like, do you know what? Did you see what I'm saying? I feel like he can't get it right.
No, he can't. And to be fair to him, listen, I still don't think that this is his final team in any way, shape or form. We've still got gaping holes all over the place. So I think he's doing the best of what he's got with the players that he's got and the way that they play. So this is why I don't think he will change it too much because he doesn't know. The problem with it is that any time he does change it, we're all like micromanagers, aren't we? We're looking at it in such fine detail that it's a case of come January we could be starting a completely very different 11 or a very different formation. If we get a few players in, it could completely change the way that he plays. So
yeah.
So what, as I say, most of my, opinions on it are based on what he's got and what he's doing, not what I would like. Because what I would like is half the team sent home packing on the bus and
Oh, for sure.
get everyone else, get someone else in. But we know that's not going to happen. But listen, I don't. I get what people are saying about Spence and Porro and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think Porro's done that bad. I mean, he's not as good as some people in your chat were saying the other day, where they were saying he's one of the best right backs in the country. When the data doesn't show that at all. He's maybe like above average. But again, I don't think he will change it for consistency. I think he will keep him there to keep it consistent. Everyone is playing as they know each other plays. As soon as you make one adjustment, even if it's the likes of bringing Spence in on the right, it almost then Romero's playing with a completely different player next to him, right? It's all about consistency, and I think that's what he'll try to keep.
But isn't he Mr. Adaptable though, Lee?
Yeah, there's adaptability, and then there's changing it for the sake of changing it, right? I think the one thing that I don't think you want to upset throughout a season as much as possible is your defensive line. You want to keep that as consistent as possible, because I could say I think Van der Ven is undroppable right at the moment, but I still don't personally think that Romero is undroppable. I still think that you could argue that some of the other guys have not done anything wrong when they've come in. So, but he's always going to be, them two are always going to be number two. Him, Van der Ven and Pauline are always going to be your three first people on the team sheet, right? At the moment.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it, guys? I mean, Lee makes a good point there. Look, you need some continuity, you need some consistency. I think the interesting thing is, what I've noticed is that whenever Frank has dropped players or tried something new, everyone's still really unhappy with it, and we're still in the first 3-4 months of this guy being here. He's got to try things out. He's got to try different partnerships. He's got to try different players in different positions. But the reason why I say, like, people in the chat going, he must know his best 11. He's been here 4 months. My point with this, Dan, I'll come to you. My point with this was, I don't think he knows his best 11, because if you ask any Spurs fan, we don't really know a best 11, because everyone's got a different idea of who should be left back, who should be right back. Everyone's got a different idea who should be the centre mid pairing, who should be the number 10, who should be up front, who should be left wing. We've all got such a different idea of it that he must be having that problem as well, right? Because we don't have a standout left winger. We don't have a standout striker. We don't have standout midfielders. So in a way, Dan, he's still figuring it out and learning, right, as we go.
Yeah, I think we could say we know our best, give or take a number 7. I'll go for 7, yeah? I think we know our best 7, maybe 6. Let's just say 7. And then the rest of it is, today, let's just flick a coin and see how it goes.
Right.
Basically, in that aspect, because the others there's nothing set in that position. Whereas the defense, if you're playing 4 at the back, is pretty much said for what it is. Goalkeeper goes without saying, and then obviously you've got Paulinho there. Then you've got the question of who gets next to him. The one I'm a bit worried about playing tomorrow is Kudus, but there's a reason to it. Obviously, I think he's the best player we got up front. But whenever we seem to have Kudus on the ball, I think we seem to a little bit make the same mistake that at times we did with Kane. And what I mean by that is, like, right, get the ball, get it to him, no matter what, get it over to him. Where he's out on the wide, difference was Kane was in the middle and could still do things. But Kudus out on the right, as soon as he gets marked up by 2 players, he's pretty much out of that game.
Yeah,
you'll only get about 70% out of him of what he's actually capable of doing. And that's not down to him not showing up or not having the capability in that. But when you're out on the right or out on the left wide, it's very easy to 2-man a person. When they're in the middle, it's a hell of a lot harder, because then the team leaves itself totally open in a position. But if we end up just focusing on Kudus, like we have a few games when we've played, and they then just mark him out the game and then focus on Porro, we're pretty much back to square one again.
But do you think
that's what I'm hoping we don't do?
But do you think consciously? I mean, I'm gonna take this to real low level, right? Like, when we've played, whether we played in the playground or Saturday team or a Sunday team, whatever. I think Lee's still playing now at his age, isn't you, Lee? You know, there are people that you just know are the best players in your team, and naturally the ball you try and get it to them, right? I just wonder whether subconsciously the players know that Kudus is the one that you can trust. Like, I mean, what you can trust him that if you give it to him, let's be fair, the boy controls the ball, doesn't he? Like, how many times you see the ball goes into a Brennan Johnson and it goes under his foot because he can't control a football? I think it may be, I don't know. It's an interesting point though. Like, I think maybe it just might be right. He's our best player. Let's get it out to him.
To make you right on what you're saying, basically, yeah. I just don't want us to focus on him because then they just mark him out and that's his game over, basically, especially with the defense they've got. But with what you're saying, you are right, because we had that situation last season with Timo Werner. And what I mean by that is the amount of times he actually got in some decent positions and they had many a chance to pass the ball to him when he was blatantly there on his own, nobody there. And whoever it was, I see it in quite a few games with different players. They looked at Werner and just, no, fuck that. And passed it over to the other side. And he actually got into quite a few good positions, but never got past the ball for obvious reasons. Because on his final third, he's absolutely bloody useless. I mean, it's like if you're up front and you got the choice of Richarlison, who could make a good run down there, or you got a left and a right, the back of your head's just going to straight away pass it out to anyone but him, basically.
Yeah, no, I said that.
I do get what you're coming from.
I actually saw it in matches where I'm absolutely adamant that they were deliberately not passing to him. Where players on our own team were not passing to him because they know what would end up. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we spoke about this on Tottenham away last season.
Listen, gents, we're all armchair managers at the end of the day, right? But one thing we do consistently is we sit here and we go, this guy's crap, this guy's crap, this guy's crap. Let's be honest, the game plan of any manager when Kudus is playing is to double up on him. Kudus' biggest issue is that he doesn't have a replicant of himself or someone of his caliber on the left. That makes it so much easier for teams to double up on him because they know we're going to try and get it to him and we're not going to pass it out down the left. And when we do, we haven't got the same caliber of a player that can take a player on, etc. And any Premier League manager is going to see that just like we do. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to see that and go, do you know what, guys? Let's just keep an eye on him. Don't worry about him. We'll if the ball goes to him, we'll deal with it. Or our right back is more than capable of dealing with him on his own. Not an issue whatsoever. That's
Lee, this was what was so interesting with when we had that team under Poch, right? And you had Ali, Ericsson, Son, Kane. It was whenever they got the ball in the midfield, it was right. I can go left, right, or centrally. Let's be brutally honest. And yeah, we're armchair managers, Lee, but we're not stupid. We can all see a quality player. If we're all going to sit here right now, who's the one player you want them to give the ball to each time? Surely we would all say, get it to Kudus, right? Like that's the guy you want to get it to, right?
If that's the problem out there, then, and this is my point of going to a 3-4-2-1 again, yeah? Our problem is out on the left. We've got nobody there on the left. So, right, take the left position out the game. Striker, it's a lose-lose situation, basically, at the minute. Right, problem is Kudus out on the right because he gets marked out. So push him into the middle next to Simmons. They cannot mark him out the same way that they mark someone out when they're wide. Because if they do that, then they're going to leave themselves open, clear as day on one of the flanks. So if you push him into the middle, which he has shown he clearly can handle, and we also push the left into the middle with a 3-4-2-1, then you've taken not having a left wing out of the problem, and you've taken about our best man getting man marked out the game, half out the problem. Again, would it work? But as soon as he's out there on the right, he just gets focused on every game, and then they do the same thing, the same as pretty much everyone did last season. Focus on Porro because they know he can't defend. And then this is why I keep talking about chopping and changing the formation a bit to try and take out the problems as such. But again, I do understand it's just not as simple as it sounds.
I hear you. I mean, like, this is something, Benji, I've banged on about for a long time, and Dan will know he's streamed with me the most out of everyone on this panel. I've said for years, I feel like we are at a deficit when it comes to technical footballers. I think we've got a lot of runners. I think we've got a lot of athletes. I think we've got a lot of reactive footballers. But I don't think we are a comfortable football team. I don't think we've got a lot of players where you go, God, look at that first touch. Look at that control. Look at that technique. I watched a bit of the Palace game earlier today, right? It's easy for me to pluck out world-class players, so I won't. Watch a bit of the Palace game. I'm watching Wharton. And do you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wax lyrical like Wharton's the greatest midfielder I've ever seen. But I just watched him.
God damn, do we need him in that Spurs team? God damn, he'd fit like a glove.
But Benji, that's. I was watching him and going, yeah. If Palace have managed to go and pick one up, he was receiving the ball in tight areas, comfortable on the ball, good vision. He was playing passes in behind, behind himself passes, linking up. And I just looked and I thought, we're desperately lacking with that. We're desperately lacking with that in our squad, Benji, for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, you are right. We don't have that. I mean, realistically, we've got two technical players in the team for me. The obvious being Kudus and the other one being Xavi Simons, although I know he's not even half firing just yet and he needs time. So you might as well count him out as well. However, I suppose you combat that with, and I hate to sound like Deadpool here, maximum effort. You've got to play to your strengths. With a midfield like let's just say, for instance, your Sarr and your Bentancur, your Paulinhos. We need to be tenacious. We need to be pressing. We need to be. I mean, look, if like you say, look, if we're not going to have these technical players in our team at the moment, then you need to be catching these guys higher up the pitch, I think, to maybe eke out a chance. I don't know.
Benji, did you see the stat as to Spurs have got the most? Is it the most miscontrolled passes, or the most times we've miscontrolled the ball of any team in the Premier League? And that tells me everything I need to know. I mean, how many times you guys watch and it just bounces off Richarlison or Brennan Johnson? It goes under his foot. Bergvall is guilty of it as well. Sarr is not good with it. And this is why I always say I get what people want, Benji. I want, by the way, Benji, I want it as well. People always go, oh, why are you sticking up for Frankfurt? Listen, I want to watch the same football as you lot. Right? I want Spurs to absolutely dominate possession and be brilliant on the eye. I just look at it and go, God, I think we're
just
miles
not
off.
there yet.
I genuinely think this squad is miles off what some people think it is.
I mean, look, I think, we all have to sit there and accept the fact that we are where we are. We're at the beginning of a project. The players we've got right now aren't the quality we need to be where we want to be. For me, with this whole Frank era, look, all I want to see at the moment is progression. That's what I'm looking for, progression. And albeit under Frank, it's slow, but it is moving forward. So yeah, for me, it's just time. But again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, the hardest thing you can ask a Tottenham fan right now is to have patience because of what we've endured. So it's a real catch-22. It's such a ball ache. But me personally, I know I'm usually quite negative about these things. I see glimmers of hope for Tottenham moving forward in the future. I see, the club making good decisions. Frank is a great manager. I just wish we could fast forward a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, no one wants to go through the shit. Like none of us want to be sitting here. I'll be honest. I was really hoping that by now I wouldn't be watching Richarlison's, Brennan Johnson's. I'll be honest. I people are going to have a go at me in the chat. I apologize. I don't want to watch Sarr's right now. I don't want to watch Bergvall's. I was hoping that we were going to bring in the Morgan, like all these people going, Morgan Gibbs-White isn't very good. He's getting back to his best now. I wanted the Morgan Gibbs-Whites, the Morgan Rogerses, the Eze's. You know what I mean, Benji? I was hoping these were the standard of players we'd be watching. But yet again, we're watching Sarr's and Johnsons and Tells and Odebergs and Richarlisons. And I genuinely think it's going to take 2 to 3 windows to shift out a lot of these players and bring in much better footballers. But Stel, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good. Not bad. How are you? The weather's rubbish where I live. I don't know where you guys live, but the weather's absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
So
horrific today. Absolutely horrific where I was today.
yeah.
Are you looking forward to tomorrow, Stel? I know, like, I feel like, we get so bogged down. Obviously, as YouTube, we get so bogged down with talking about the ins and outs of it that sometimes we don't allow ourselves to have that kid in us. That's the, the childlike fan part of us. That, oh my God, Spurs Arsenal. So, are you excited? Are you more scared, or what? Where are you out of it?
I don't feel anything really, if I'm honest. I'm just. Do you know what? I don't watch Spurs because I want to. I watch them because I support the club, and it's. I
you have
more,
to.
yeah. I don't enjoy watching us play, man. I haven't enjoyed Tottenham for years. You have moments. You get happy moments. You know, if we win tomorrow 2-1, I'll love it. I'll absolutely love it. But if we don't, okay, whatever. We drew. Great, good. That's good. It's excellent. We've got to draw at a very, very, very difficult ground. If we lose, it's going to be, well, nothing's changed really. It's what we're used to. So I just don't feel much for it. Don't get me wrong. When the game starts, I'll be cheering them on. I'm sure I'll be shouting at the referee if he doesn't give us a free kick when we deserve one, or there's a dodgy VAR. I'm sure I'll get angry, but the emotions will come out. But I don't know. I've kind of written off the season, Savva, if I'm honest. I've written it off because
we're only 11 games in.
Yeah, but look, we're not going to win the league. We're not going to win the Champions League. I'll be shocked if we win the FA Cup. We're out the Carabao. For me, we're just in a top 6, top 4 battle, which I've seen for the last since Martin Joel days. That's all. That's the norm. It's nothing new. So this season's just a write-off. If you expect anything more than that, because that's the most I think we're going to achieve this season. Look, never say never. Never say never. I said we were never going to win the Europa Cup, and we did. Maybe we win the FA Cup. Who knows? Never say never. But
sorry, you don't picture us lifting the Champions League trophy in May.
I could see Richarlison lifting it one-handed, and with his top.
You imagine?
In Budapest.
And then dropping it.
Final.
Yeah, knocking himself out.
One going.
Like I said, I will watch games. I'll go to the stadium. I've got a season ticket when I can because I support the club, and I've got Spurs friends. It's a bit of a social. I want to see Spurs beat Arsenal, beat Chelsea, beat the big boys. I want to watch those games because it's what it's all about. But I'm not bothered by the season because there's not really much on the line, is there? It's a bit of we're in transition.
It's like the first steps of building in terms of, if you want to call it that, right? It's not essentially. It's not like if a manager takes over Liverpool or Arsenal, you're expected immediately to challenge for everything, right? Because that's what those clubs are built. At Spurs, it's all very new. But let me ask you. I'll start with you, Stel, and then everyone else. I feel like we all need something. We all need a spark. Like all the Spurs fans think we need a spark. And I don't think that will come until the window. And I think that has got to be the chance where Spurs start getting fans excited again. Is that unfair of me to say that with the fact that it's a January window? Does anyone agree? Is it a chance for them to make a statement to show that it is different? Because we all say it's different. We've all said it's different. So far, I don't know what is different. We got 2 signings and 2 loans in the summer. So is that fair? Is that not fair?
I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to reverse this because this is how I see it. I actually don't care who we bring in. I couldn't care less. As long as they're not rubbish, as long as they're good, I don't care. What I care about, and it's what I've never seen. I've never seen under any manager. And it's the only thing that will convince me to get behind 100% Frank, 100% Enoch, 100% Paratici, the whole thing, is who we get rid of. So If next season I see Ritchie's, Archie Gray's, Tells, Ben Davies, if I see this, I don't care who we bring in, because as soon as we get an injury, as soon as we get suspension, look at what comes in. It's a waste of my life. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of money. And you're looking at it now. We've got injuries. Look what comes in. It beggars belief. So, yeah, sign Semenyo, sign Savio, sign Gibbs-White. Brilliant. But if Richarlison is still here, if Tell is still here, if these, sorry, I'm going to say, if Pape Sarr is still here, we're not winning league titles with these players. We can get top 4 with them. We're not challenging for a league. We're not taking the Champions League seriously. And if people in the comments disagree with me, I ask you this one question. Take Pochettino's starting 11, which is the closest we came to winning the Champions League and a league title. Take Poch's starting 11, and out of our entire squad, who gets into that starting 11? Other than Kudus, you're all struggling. Everyone is struggling. So I don't want to see. So, Savva, for me, I'm looking at who we get rid of more than what we bring in.
No, I don't disagree. I mean, Lee, let me come to. I mean, Stell is right there. Look, the one caveat I'll put on Stell's point is I don't believe that all of the players will go in one window. But I think what we need to start seeing is, Lee, that they do go. And I've got faith that Frank will do this, because when everyone is fit, the players that he wasn't playing before we got the injuries was Ritchie. He was relegated to the bench, wasn't he? Was Johnson. Was Sarr, right? And then, Lee, what people started doing, though, the funny thing is, because for every Stelios in the fan base that's saying, got to get them out, these guys aren't good enough, and I completely agree with him, you've then got you've got some Spurs fan over here going, we need Pape Sarr off. We need Archie Gray off. Brendan Johnson's got to play. So
this is how Mateus Tell completes us. This is how Pape Sarr changes the dynamic. This is
right. Free Pape Sarr. All I heard was Pape Sarr's got to play in midfield. He comes in and plays. He's terrible. Everyone goes, oh well. Lee, what do you make of that? I think that's a good point about seeing who goes, right?
We've been saying this for seasons. There's this. Do you know what our squad is? Our squad is, we have a squad of hopefuls and deadwood that are propped up by about 4 really good players, right? What we need to do is that
so true, so true.
The balance need to shift. We need to have a squad of good players with a few hopefuls, and the deadwood needs to go. Ritchie, Davis, they're the first 2 out the door for me. I don't know whether the reports of this are right or not, but I don't think we're going to see Tell much of anything before January, because I think he's going to be gone. If someone comes in for an offer with him, I think we bite their hand off, to be quite honest with you. But listen, I'm not too far off from where Stell is in terms of this season. I'm not really bothered what happens, right? At the end of the day, I'm not going to be very critical of Frank, because as far as I'm concerned, I've given him the same leverage as I gave Ange when he first came in. He has got to prove, because we all say these players are shit, but he's got to prove as a manager that he can manage this team as well. And I haven't got nowhere near enough, we haven't had enough games yet to actually, whether he can do that over a season. So he's got just as much to prove as anyone else. But we have 100% got to get rid of these lingering players that are just hanging around like a bad smell. They've got to go, and I think that's what the priority's got to be this season. We've got to do what we can do with the squad that we've got. It's as simple as that. But I know there's a lot of people out there hanging their hopes on this January window. I always say that the January windows can be a bit of a can trip you up a little bit, because you either get paying well over the odds because you need a player and they don't need to leave, or you end up again buying more hopefuls. And that's what I don't want to see. If we just go and buy one fantastic player or 2 fantastic players, that's fine. But if we go and buy 2 or 3 hopefuls again, then we're not changed. We're not changing the ambition, are we? We're doing exactly the same as what we've done.
I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see any more Tells, Odebers, Grays, Bergval, SARS. We've fully stocked on.
We've got that crap. We don't need more.
The thing is as well, Dan, it's difficult, right? Because I can come across a bit harsh when I'm talking about the younger players, but purely because I support Tottenham Hotspur, right? As a fan, it's not my job to sit here and go, oh, I'll wait 3 years for XYZ player to come good, right? That should be happening in the background. But the problem is, Dan, we've stockpiled this now, haven't we?
Yep.
I mean, you think a couple of years ago, Spurs went and bought Papa Sarr, right? We had Bentancur in central midfield with Højbjerg. We went and bought Papa Sarr. I think that's your young player to bring through midfield. Surely then, Dan, you're thinking, right, the next 2 centre mids you go and bring into this football club need to be top, ready to go. But Spurs went, well, we've got Saru. I know he's a bit older now, but we've got Saru who's young. I'll tell you what we do. Let's go and get Bergvall. That's not enough. Let's go and get Gray. Now, all of a sudden, you've got all your midfielders and none of them are really that good. Like, we're stockpiling, Dan.
I mean, this is something I have agreed with you on from day one. We have a lot of disagreements, but this is one where I agree with you hard. So on that one. I mean, a majority of those young players we got, as far as I'm concerned, they're not even good enough. And the cost of them, that goes without saying. I don't even want to go into that one. But we need players that can do the job now, not in 5 or 6 years' time, not in 3 years' time. We need it now. Players that can settle in within 6 months, start getting their act together. We need players that are ready now, that have got experience, that can do this job. Not players that we just hit and hope that, well, he's looked good at what he's done where he is. He is 18, 19. He could get better. We need players for now. Not could get better, might get better, even will get better in 5 years' time, 4 years' time. Isn't good enough for what we need right now. We need established, solid players. When it comes to January, it's a tricky one. It always is a tricky one in January because, like Lee said, you will be paying excess amount or whatever, and clubs don't want to let players go. But I think this transfer window could be a bit different because where you've got the World Cup coming up, there might be a few relatively good players out there, good enough for our team, because like we've said, 4 of our team at least, you could quite easily replace them if we're going to be honest. Bigger clubs as such who aren't getting the game time they want, and they want to get in that World Cup. Instead of going out and just doing a bit of hit and hope buying a player, I'd rather Spurs went out and, say, for instance, loaned 2 good established players that maybe weren't getting played enough in their team. I'll just use, say, City or Inter Milan as an example. Just an example, yeah, who maybe ain't getting quite enough game time there, but more than established and more than good enough to get in our team. I'd rather go out and loan 2 or 3 players like that instead of buy a player just for hit and hope, basically, and get another fucking Richarlison, Gray, Odegaard, Tell, whatever. I'd rather go and get it on loan, cover up the rest of the season, right? Because it's not going to be until the summer where we can actually sit there and tell at the end of the summer transfer window whether this squad, this team, this club means business. Whether the players, whether the owners are just full of it or whether they actually mean business. Because January it's a hard one to show unless you go out there.
He'll be back.
He will. Watch.
Any
Wait,
second.
we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we've lost him for good.
Oh,
Man down. Man down.
But you know, when we're on the phone, he blames my internet. Unbelievable.
I mean, but Benji, Dan is right. I mean, to be fair, I was watching the Spurs 5 the other night. I caught it on replay, and they were talking about what should be done in the January window, and I was listening to it and thinking, yeah, absolutely, it's got to be. We've got to get away from it's January. We've got to get away from things are difficult. Spurs have got to start doing bits, Benji. We've got to stop putting our money where our mouth is. You know, Vinay Venkatesham can be rolled out and say all of this. This is what we want. This is what we want to do. Things are changing. We want to know when's the right time to sell players and bring in the right. But it doesn't mean anything, Benji. If in January Spurs go and sign another couple of average footballers, it doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, first off, can I just say this, right? Public announcement. if anyone watching sees Still at the games, please give this man a hug. Tottenham Hotspur have drained the fucking joy out of this poor man. And still, there is no one on YouTube I agree with more than you, mate. And I can just see it in you. Just give this man a hug, all right? Look, for me, it's
I'll
pretty
get daggers
simple.
thrown at me on match day. Daggers.
Oh, you're joking. Yeah, no more daggers. Hugs, people. Hugs. Look, for me, I completely agree. You've got to draw a line underneath what we've been doing. We tried the youth route. It's not really worked out for us. And the thing is, you can bring in youth all you want, but youth don't bring you trophies. It's known since the beginning of the time of football. It for the most part, it don't. And we don't have enough quality in the squad to rely on supplementing it with just youth. And you're absolutely right. Come January, we do need to start bringing in quality. I mean, for me, I'm happy every single season if you can bring in 2 players that walk into the first 11, whether that be starting on a bench or whatever it may be. But yeah, at this point, we've tried youth. It's not worked. We need to move on. And don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like the youth of Tottenham. I think some of them have possibly very bright futures. But yeah, right now, we're at such a stage where, I mean, for instance, Spurs have always had like 1 or 2 sort of borderline world-class players in the squad for years and years and years. And this is the first time I can genuinely say I don't think there's an argument that there is a single world-class player at Tottenham Hotspur.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you, Benji.
Yeah. And it's a sad thing to see. But yeah, look, let's just wait and see. Whether anything happens in January, I doubt it. If you could ask me what I'd want, it would be please go and buy Semenyo. I mean, look, he's going to be really, really sort of sought after, obviously. But yeah, for me, just go and spend on a big left winger or a big number 8, one of the two, and I'll be over the moon. But yeah, completely agree with you, boys. Enough is enough with the youth and the shite quality we keep bringing in. But hopefully that changes from now.
Tell you, guys, Benji makes a great point there, doesn't he? Like, I feel like if we look at the last 10 years, we know we've definitely had top class players like Son, Kane, Moussa Dembele. I thought Toby Alderweireld and Jan were top draw. Carl Walker was a world-class right back. If you go back
Ericsson.
Ericsson was top class. You go back a few years before that and you look at Gareth Bale, Modric, Rafa van der Vaart, Ledley King, Jonathan Woodgate. Is this the first time in forever, guys? Let's talk about what Benji just said. Is this the first time in forever that we've not had anybody where no one where you go, that player is top class, and I'm really worried that clubs are going to come in and bid £100 million for him? Because I was with most of those, I was always worried. I don't worry that any of these are going to get snapped up, other than maybe Van der Ven.
This is the issue, though, right? And just to go back to what Benji said a minute ago, I slightly disagree with the statement that he made about we've tried the youth. I don't think we've tried the youth. I think the club has been buying bigged up youth players who they've looked to try and buy them in for a sell-on value. I don't believe they've been bought for the team. I think they've been bought for the club. And that's what our biggest issue is. We've been stockpiling these kids to actually increase their value to sell them on. And they've been used in the teams that hasn't worked because it's overloaded us with youth. And it's stopped us from bringing in the other players that we need. And also that you're absolutely right. Now Son has gone, even though the last couple of seasons he wasn't at his best. I think that's the last of the old guard great players that we had, right?
But,
I mean, there's a lot of people out there who put Romero in there as a world-class defender, but I still think he's too much of a seesaw for me.
But exactly. Lee, I did a show earlier this week, and I'm not saying you guys have got the time to watch all my shows, but I did a show earlier this week when I was talking about this is the first time in, I think it's 11 or 12 seasons that we've not had either Son or Kane. And for me, I think what we're now seeing is that those two, we knew it before, right? Let's be fair. We knew this. I don't think I'm breaking news to anyone here, but I think we're seeing this is the first time that we haven't had Son and Kane to paper over a lot of cracks at the football club. So if you actually look, Conte didn't have a great squad, but Kane and Son made what he was doing work, right? Jose didn't have a great squad, but Kane and Son papered over that. Kane and Son papered over Nuno. Kane and Son
I watched that show, Sav, and you are absolutely right. They papered over the cracks.
And no, they did, but this is the worry. The worry for me is now you've gone from two that papered over it, because let's be fair, when they were both on their game, they were devastating. Sometimes one of them would have a great game, the other one didn't, but now you don't have either of that profile. Now I'm looking at us going, what is it that's special about us? Because it was Kane and Son. Don't get me wrong, in the Poch team, I know for a few years they didn't carry us when we had Ericsson, Ali, Dembele, Wanyama, all them. But all the other seasons, they've carried what is a very average group of players. My worry is now we've got an average group of players without that now. That's my worry.
Do you know what needs to happen? Do you know what needs to happen? And this is if you know we're going to be serious. Everyone talks about Arsenal being the best team in the land, and okay, well, they've got to win a trophy to prove it, but they're up there. They're definitely up there. They're competing every year. What they did was, right, let me list you some players at Spurs. So Richie, 65 million. Solanke, 60 million. Johnson, 50 million. Tell, 40. Archie Gray, 40. Odebert, 30. Danzo and Dragusin, both 25 million. All right. So if you look at similar price players at Arsenal when Arteta got there, Pepe, 75 million. Aubameyang, 55 million. Lacazette, 50 million. Tierney, 30 million. Sorry, Torreira, 30 million. Tierney, 25 million. That same kind of shit. Probably a bit better than what we've got. Arsenal got rid of all of them. They got rid of every single one of those players, and they took a loss on all of them, because for them it was a case of, we cannot build whilst they're here. It's not going to happen. So if Spurs are serious and we want to get back to the Kanes and Sons, that kind of level, when I hear fans say, "Oh, but we can't just get rid of Solanke, who spent 60 million. Oh, but we can't get rid of Gray, who spent 40 million." Tough shit. It was a fuck up. All these signings I've just mentioned aren't good enough. Like even Danzo, he's good in the air. I don't rate him as a defender though. He's had just as many bad games as good games. All of these players, Richie, Solanke, Johnson, Tell, Gray, all of them. If we're serious, Jurgen Klopp got rid of everyone. Everyone got flushed out. Fergie flushed out everyone over time. The managers that are there for a long period of time, they flush everyone out and they take the financial hit. Are we prepared to take a financial hit, or are we going to run their contracts into the ground, get little money for them, and just waste every single year that goes by? So unless this ownership, this new structure, and the manager together say, right, we're going to have to sell Richie for 20 million. That's the best we're going to get. We're going to have to sell Solanke for 35 million. That's the best we're going to get. Johnson, 25 million. Unless they're prepared to do that, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked, because we're not going to get our money back on any of them. None of them are at the price tag that we bought them. And that's what all the other clubs did. Every other club that's successful had to do that.
Does it not worry you, though, still, that I get, and I completely agree with you, right? I completely agree with you on all of that. But does it, as a club, does it almost worry you slightly that we've almost got this, trying to think of the right word, it's all well and good getting rid of these people, but we've almost got this sort of image where we can't get better in, or better finds better homes, even if our name goes into the pot, but it always ends up being the last name in the list. So you're completely right. We need to get rid of these guys. We need to show ambition, but it's one thing showing ambition, but it's actually getting those players through the door when you've got the likes of Arsenal, City, and that which will step on your toes, and they're taking them up.
Lee, can we sign Matoma from Brighton? Can we sign Matoma?
I don't see why not. Absolutely, the player of his caliber, yeah.
That is an upgrade on anything else we've got on that side of the pitch. So we don't need to go for the big players. We just need to go for good players that are Premier League proven, and they will come to us. One, because we're a bigger club. Two, I'm sure we can pay higher wages. And three, we can say, look, you're going to play with Kudus, Simmons, Paulinho, Van der Ven. You're going to play with these players. And by the way, Don't worry about playing with Richarlison and Tell. They're gone. That's how you sell it to them. But if you say to them, come to us, but you're going to have to link up with Odebert and play a 1-2 with Archie Gray. And top players are going to look at that and say, why? Eze went to Arsenal because he saw the players he's going to play with. He's looking at that and thinking, mate, yeah, I'll play with that lot.
Still, I don't disagree with
that's how I think we sell it. That's how I think we need to sell it. If we just sell it as come to us because we're better than City, that's not going to happen.
But this
City will get the player.
I completely agree with you. I think at the Arsenal are a good case in point. People say, they've not won anything, and that's fine. But one thing I agreed with Lubo, what he said the other night, is if you actually take away the trophies, if you actually look how they are set as a football club, it's all they're ready to win. Now, whether they get over the line or not is a different subject, and we all hope they don't. But I've got a feeling they're going to this year. But they've set themselves up right where they've got 2 players in every position that you can count upon, right? Let's be brutally honest. If tomorrow, like we know Gabriel's not playing for Arsenal tomorrow, right? Their options are Mosquera or Hincapi to come in at centre half, right? When we lose a player, we're bringing in Ben Davis, right? Do you know what I mean? Like it's absolutely terrible. So I make you right still. We've got to, I think a lot of it is sentimentality. And I think that's the fans and the club still. Now, so as fans, look at all the players you just mentioned there, right? That you don't want to see. Do you know how many times on my show will I want to have said that? People will stick up for those players in the chat. So if I talk about Tell, people go, oh, you're too harsh on him. But I'm like, okay, cool. Let's keep Tell. Oh, you're harsh on Oda. Cool. Let's keep him as well. You're so harsh on Richarlison. Cool. We'll keep him. You're harsh on Johnson. Cool. So basically, all of these average footballers, we've got fans who fight to want to keep them still. For me, I'm not there. I'm with you. I'm with you. I know we don't agree on everything, mate, but I'm with you on this. I don't want these footballers at my club. I don't want to watch Brennan Johnson play football because he scored the winning goal in a cup final. I want to watch proper football.
Own goal.
Football club. Huh?
Own goal.
Own goal. Yeah, well, I was being kind. But do you know what I mean? I want to. Stell's right. Matomas, Adam Whartons, right? Morgan Gibbs White. I'm looking. I could go on and on. I'm looking at all of these clubs.
Even the wing back,
nowhere near as big as us.
The wing back
better players. Like the recruitment.
I don't disagree with you both. What the point I was trying to get to is that, or trying to get at, was not that we can't do that with those type of players. It's just when there's a sniff of another club, then we just seem to go right to the back. So I think let me rephrase it. We need to be more ruthless with trying to get these players in. We need to know we want him, we know the price, and we want to go and pay for it, and we don't even give them the chance. That's what I want to see us do. Not give clubs another, let's have another Eze situation, right? Where in theory we could have got him in 4 weeks before, but because what Arsenal did, etc., we could have got that over the line. Well, we don't know, but it's just we seem to take so long over everything.
Yeah, Lee, we don't need to go for these top players. Look at Poch. We went for Dele Alli. No one was really looking at him. We went for Dembele. We went for Wanyama. We went for Alderweireld, Vertonghen. We went for players that were good, but not really up there in the eyes of all the other clubs. And then what happens is when you put them together, you're actually a good team now. Actually, we're really good now. Now we can attract those big boy players. Now maybe we can compete and say, look, we're a good team. Why would you not want to come to us? The mistake we made was when we had that Poch team, that was the time. That's when, as they say, strike whilst the iron is hot. We were hot and we didn't strike. What did we do? We brought in Kudus, NG. We brought in all this crap. And it's like, what are we doing? And you know what? I get pissed off with fans. When I get into arguments about Solanke, I say, guys, I don't want Solanke at the club. I just don't rate him at that level, okay? Oh, but we need him. He holds up the play. I said, guys, maybe he holds up the play better than other players we've got. But we don't need him because he does that. We need someone that actually puts the ball in the back of the freaking net. Why don't you stick to death of us missing goals every single game and saying, oh, he's shit. Oh, he's shit. Oh, he's... We need someone up front that actually connects with the ball and it goes
prolific
into
goal
the
scorer,
back of the net.
Right?
Yeah. if we've got a goal scorer that can hold up the ball as well, brilliant. But we need a goal scorer. And they're like, no, but Solanke holds the ball up. Yeah, but who's he going to feed? Who's going to score the goals that he's feeding? Like, this is the argument I have with people. They're like, no. He's going to come good. But he's never come good. He's never
a good worker.
come good. When?
Richie
you know
winds
what?
the other players up.
Archie Gray. He's going to come good. When?
Oh, don't,
When is he going to
get me
start for Tottenham? He never starts for us.
Lubo will turn up in a minute. You know that, right?
Can I play devil's advocate with Solanke?
Please do.
Do you know what? Because I don't want to echo chamber, so I'm gonna try and do something here. Look, for me, I'm not going to sit here and say Solanke is a world class player because he's clearly not. However,
Benji, are we winning the league with Solanke?
No.
Right. End of. Next.
Okay then, cool. No, look, listen. All I want to say is this, right? With Solanke, look, he come off the back of that 19 goal season, right? He's come into a club, first year at the club as well. He was played as a CDM for most of the goddamn season, if you think about it, because he was told to push and drop back. And he still managed to bag 16 goals, and he only played, I think, 27 games, maybe. I don't think that's terrible. I mean, again, I'm not saying he's amazing, but I do think people underrate him. I'm sure he did it overall. I'm sure his first season it was 16 goals overall. I could be wrong. Please fact check that.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. And it's good. I like a bit of devil's advocate, so it's good. But Dominic Solanke, we signed him at the age of 26, just going on 27. I think it's pretty sad. I know this. I think his birthday's in September, right? So it means we signed him as he was about to turn 27, which means now he's 28, right? That means he's been in the Premier League and in English football since the age of 18 for a decade. At what point have any of us ever watched Dominic Solanke and gone, fuck yes, I would love that boy in my team, right? The problem is he came off the back. You're right. He came off the back of that 19-goal season. But there are so many examples of strikers that don't have good careers, but have that one season, don't they? There's so many strikers that one season where you go, cool, what a great year. Problem is, we went and spent I think it was 56 million is the exact amount on Dominic Solanke, right? 56 million. You could give any of us 56 million, tell us to go traveling across the world and bring back a striker better than Dominic Solanke for 56 million. Stelly's right on this one. I disagree with his premise of, are we winning the league with this guy? Because obviously we're not winning the league without many factors. But right now, is Dominic Solanke a guy you look at and go, cool, yeah, that is who I want leading my line at Spurs?
Not really.
He scored 16 goals in 45 games. So that's 1 in 3. And he got 8 assists, which is 1 in 5.
Sorry, repeat
that.
What did he get?
How many of those goals were in the League Cup or the Europa League?
A lot of them.
Half of them.
Okay.
He scored 16 goals in his entire career.
Yeah,
one good season.
Doesn't this just sum it up though, right? Who is Spurs' goal scorer this season?
We don't have
Who can answer that question? that sums up.
Stell's mate Muani. I've seen Stell talking about Muani a lot lately. He loves him, so it's Stell's mate Muani. We don't have a goal scoring midfielder. Not one of our wingers is an out-and-out goal scorer, and we don't have an out-and-out goal scorer up front. And this is why when I hear
most prolific goal scorer is Mickey van der Ven. Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's Richarlison, and we all want him out the club.
Look, I think this is something that definitely needs to be looked at, right? This is something that definitely needs to be looked at. If you are not going to have a number 9 that rattles in goals, you've got to have a wide man that rattles in goals. So, for example, Liverpool didn't have a striker that rattled in 20, 25 a season, but they had a Mo Salah that rattled in 30, right? That's fine. You can have your winger that gets it and then 10 here, 10 there, 10. We haven't got anyone in our squad who's capable of getting... Is any of our players going to get 15 Premier League goals?
Adam Johnson, baby. Adam Johnson, wrong one. Brendan Johnson.
Oh, quickly get that out of you, man. If you don't want to be talking about Adam Johnson, mate.
No. Johnson, you won't see half the goals out of because we don't play to what he's best now. We don't play to what he's good at. We don't play FIFA. We don't play sweaty ball across the front of the goal and he taps it in. We don't play that now, yeah? So that's pretty Johnson ifs, buts and maybes sort of thing. We have not... The thing is, getting a striker at the moment is probably, I'd say, one of the hardest things in football to do. Because I think football, it takes its turn in a cycle, same as everything, from tactics, everything else, plus players you can get. Go back 10, 12 years, you could pick a striker out quite nicely, but defenders, good solid defenders, maybe not so easily. And then it's gone back to that stage again where defenders, you can go out there and get quite a few decent defenders, but strikers at the moment are few and far between. There really aren't, in my opinion, that many great strikers.
Yeah, but then you sign goal scoring wingers and goal scoring attacking mids. We didn't do that.
Then you have your man. You do what basically
we signed Odegaard
and what City did. You get someone at the front who you can play as your target man and drop a bit deeper, and have your left and your right as your inside forwards. That's your other option. That's all I'm saying. These strikers at the moment are few and far between.
Mate, Simmons doesn't score.
For 50 minutes.
Right? Simmons doesn't score. Bergvall doesn't score. Kudus doesn't score. Odegaard. None of these players are known for scoring. No. None of them.
Which is why I think this is where we're probably going to disagree still. This is why I think he's done an amazing job, Frank, to get us 20 Premier League goals with these players. I think, I know that we're getting them from right back and centre back and centre mid, but I genuinely don't know where the goal threat is. I genuinely don't. And the thing
set
that annoys
pieces,
me,
isn't it? Set pieces, corners, free kicks, throw-ins.
Dan, do you know the worst thing about getting Solanke for me, right, is that it followed just about 2 years after or a year after, whatever it was, getting Richarlison. And it's like, we didn't learn from Richarlison at 50 odd million. We then went to Solanke. So if you look at it, right, since, here you go, this will be a good one, right? Since Spurs signed Son, right? So what was that, a decade ago? Since Spurs signed Son, you look at the forwards and wingers we have signed at this football club. You tell me any of them other than Bale on loan, who's actually, you go, what a good signing that was, right? We have had Kudus since then. We've had Ng. We've had Bergwijn. We've had Janssen. We've had Vinicius. We've had Valise, Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Solanke. So I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, by the way. We've had Brian Hill, Tell, Odegaard. Who is scouting?
So,
who on earth has scouted that lot?
So the question I'll ask then,
Werner.
What do we need?
Whatever it was.
What do we need on the left? Do we need a left winger or do we need a left inside forward?
Both. Well, come on. Heung-min Son did both. He was an inside forward and a left winger. We need both.
Because the goals have got to come from somewhere, isn't they, up front? Surely.
Why can't we just sign a left winger that knows how to score as well? Isn't that what part of a left winger's job is to score and create, not just to create? You know, what's his name? Salah. Mohamed Salah. He's a winger and a goal scorer. You know, for me, Mitoma does it. You know, I'm sure there's others. Lookman, he does it.
See, this is why I think players like Lookman are a no-brainer. Can play in multiple positions, scores goals, experienced. We turn our noses up at a player like that. But I think whoever started this off, absolutely right. There is no one in this team that I look at and go, you're going to get me 15 Premier League goals. 15. I've not even gone mad, guys. I've not gone to 20. I've not gone to 20. I don't look at anyone in this squad and go, you are capable of 15 Premier League goals. Right? Arsenal will have that probably. I think Gyökeres will. I think Saka will. Maybe a Trossard or a Martinelli might. I don't know. Right? Haaland will grab 400 goals for Man City.
You can pick 3 out of Arsenal straight away that you know are going to score goals, right? Gyökeres is going to score goals, I would imagine. Saka scores goals. Eze scores goals.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They're prolific for it. You know that you're going to get at least... Yeah, Trossard score goals as well. Do you know what I was just thinking, actually? Just going through my brain. This all goes back... This trend always all goes back to Poch, right? It goes back to the 4 that we had. Eriksen, Ali, Son and Kane. every time one of them's gone, which it started with Ericsson, didn't it? And then Ali, then Kane, then Son. We've never replaced them like for like. We've always basically brought in a hopeful, hoping they turned out like them. And it's only really now starting to turn. I think Kudus is the first piece of the puzzle, but we are still 3 short of what we had in that Poch team.
Lee, we didn't replace Dembele. We didn't replace Wanyama. We didn't replace.
Mate, I'm just starting with the front. Don't get me started on the midfield.
We didn't replace Hugo Lloris. We didn't replace any.
No, you're right. You're right.
None of them.
I mean, another player that I wanted us to go for, and we put in the dirtiest bid ever for him, and Arsenal just said thank you, was Trossard. And this was when I first started the streaming. That I mentioned that, and quite a few people were just like, "No, we don't want that crap on our team."
Him.
And do you know what? It is a question then, yeah. Just a pure question. Obviously, never going to happen, sort of thing, yeah. But people say that we should be going for Semenyo and that. Totally agree. Go for it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? We don't get him. Yeah, I don't think we will. But like you said, still, never say never. And if it is Arsenal who are going for him, because rumour does say it's Arsenal and Liverpool that want him, yeah. But for me, Arsenal need, in my opinion, Arsenal might need to sell up 1 or 2 before they could do that.
Careful what you're going to say, Dan. Careful what you're going to. Are you talking about getting Trossard out of Arsenal?
Would anybody say going for Trossard would be a crazy thing to do?
So we buy Trossard so that they can get Semenyo.
We can only look at improving our team at the end of the day.
Okay, now, man.
Yeah, but
shouldn't
the attitude be, though, that we shouldn't just accept Trossard because we can't get Semenyo? We should go and get someone else.
I think Trossard's a good player. I think he's good, player, but I personally think Trossard's a good player, and I wanted him before Arsenal got him, and that I'd take him quite happily. And Arsenal, this is where maybe we need to look at, instead of looking at I was a prime one who wanted City to win that game so Arsenal wouldn't win the league. Maybe just for once, a few of us, me including, need to sit there and say, well, bollocks to Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U, and every other team out there, and just focus on my own team, on what's best for my own team.
But don't you think, Dan, that there's so many players out there, though, right? Like I mean, listen, when we were linked with Trossard, and I think we offered 11 million for him, which is,
something like that.
If ever there's a Spursy bid, it's that, right? I would have loved Trossard. Now, I just don't think it's possible for multiple reasons. But
no, I don't think it happened. It was just a question to put on there, basically.
Yeah. But there's so many Trossard type players out there. It doesn't have to be Trossard type, but there's so many footballers across the Premier League and Europe. If we get our scouting right, there are footballers everywhere, and I feel like we go lazy every time. I feel like we go so lazy with our signings. Richarlison, for me, felt like a really lazy signing. Solanke felt really lazy. Really, really lazy. Yeah? I want to see us, if you're going to go and buy a striker, go and inquire about Lautaro Martinez. Go and inquire about Guirassy. Now, listen, I'm not saying, guys, that they all automatically go, oh, my God, I'd love to play for Spurs. But that's the ilk you need, right? You need somebody with caliber. You need somebody with a name, somebody that goes in the team and the fans get excited about. Not one of these strikers at Tottenham, not one of them do I ever think, good, he's playing, he's going to score when he's through on goal. Not one of them. I don't know if that's
I don't
just
disagree with you.
There's just, there's no one. Like when Jermaine Defoe was bearing down on goal, right? We all thought he's at least working the keeper, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? He's working the keeper. He's getting his shot off. He's getting Robbie Keane, Berbatov, Klinsmann, Kane, Son, Sheringham. We could do this all day long. Even a Freddie Canute. Whenever Richarlison gets in and around the penalty area, not one part of me goes, oh, hang on, this is exciting. Solanke's the same. I don't know if you remember the Bilbao game. I know people have probably forgotten this because we won it, but He went through on goal. Didn't I remember this in the final in the second half?
Yeah, it was fucked
When he went
up.
through on goal, and no part of me thought, yeah, he's just gonna, you know when strikers just shuffle the ball to their right or left and then just fire the shot away. He's not got it. That's not in his locker. So I think we need a lot. I think we need a lot of forwards and goal scorers. We need goal scorers badly.
It's something we definitely don't have, isn't it? I mean, up front, we definitely don't look scary. I mean, even when you look at it, Kudus isn't an out-and-out goal scorer.
No.
I mean, for me, I think you'll be lucky if you see him get double figures in the season, because I just don't think that's mainly part of his game. Yeah, get the odd goal here and there, but I think he's more of a winger, more of a playmaker out on the right. You can even mix him up as a target man as such to hold the ball up for the next man to come in, like a bit of a Grealish sort of player. He's not a goal scorer as such, is he? And we need someone up there who can put it in the back of the net, and that is one thing we severely lack at the moment.
Doesn't that make Lookman a bit of a no-brainer? I mean, even if you can get him on loan for the end of the season, Lookman scores goals. We've seen the boy score a hat-trick in a Europa League final. He's got pedigree. Right? Surely, isn't that a no-brainer? It doesn't have to be the solution for the long term, but isn't that a no-brainer?
You would have thought so.
But no one wants him now because apparently he's got an attitude problem.
I hear this
A
about
lot of
so
people
many
didn't want him
players.
anyway.
But maybe he's got the attitude problem because of the way that he's being treated at the club that he's at. Maybe his attitude will change if he gets a new start. I don't know, but his talent is there.
He's got an attitude. There's a couple of managers. He don't get on with managers. He don't get on with players. The fella has got a chip on his shoulder. No two ways about it.
Then why didn't they let him go in the summer then?
Because they wanted the money up front for him, basically.
Well, I know that, but if you're that desperate to get rid of him because of his attitude, then you're going to get the money either way, whether you want it up front or not. Sounded like they wanted to keep him.
I don't own the club. The thing it came down to with Inter is Inter wanted to put it down for the loan, basically, and then buy him the following season. They said, no, we want the money now. That was that. That was from what I read anyway.
But weren't we?
Yeah,
we
apparently
were told,
he did as well. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's look at players we've been told have an attitude problem shouldn't come to Spurs, right? I was told Garnacho's got a terrible attitude. Gets his move to Chelsea. Whenever I watch him playing for Chelsea, always involved, looks good. Marcus Rashford's got a terrible attitude, banging in goals over in Barcelona, starting for Barcelona, but had a terrible attitude, couldn't play for us. Kudus, we were told, terrible attitude. Remember Lubo coming on going, oh, my West Ham mate say he's got a terrible attitude. Doesn't seem to be anything wrong with him when I watch him play for Spurs. Garnacho's another one. Sorry. Garnacho, Rashford. I heard Grealish has got an attitude problem and he's a drunk. Like, all of these people, we constantly talking about having attitude problems. Maybe it's the environment they're in, right?
Or maybe they don't have an attitude problem and the media are just brainwashing everyone.
True.
Exactly.
That's why I don't listen to journalists. You know me, out of everyone, I slam these journalists so goddamn hard because they brainwash fans into thinking things which are wrong. It's just you don't know. Right? Do you know, when we were in the old stadium back in the day, you'd sign an Andy Sinton or a Raw Fox or something like that. And you'd try and get behind it because that's kind of where your expectations were. Fast forward to now, we built this superstar intergalactic stadium and we're used to getting top four and all that. The behavior in the transfer market hasn't changed, but the expectations gone up. Rightly so, the expectations gone up. They need to start matching the expectation that they've created. We never created the expectation, they did. You know, they put the prices up to 90 quid. They built a modern stadium. They keep telling us we've got record profits. They keep telling us we want to do this, So if you're going to raise the bar, you've got to match it with the players you sign. Like if you really look at the summer window, we signed Kudus. Paulinho was a loan deal. Mateus Tel was done in January. And Simmons, although he's a good player, it was a panic. It was a bit of a panic because we fucked up the ones we wanted. And, hopefully he turns out to be good for us. But really...
We wanted three before him, didn't we, still? We tried for Rodgers, couldn't get him. We tried for Eze and we tried for Morgan Gibbs-White. But this is why...
And Savia,
this is why... This is why when I say, I always say I thought the window was decent, right? But I think it was negligent. You know, you've heard me say this loads of times still. I think the window was negligent because surely if you are going to bring in 2 of your 4 signings as loans, surely you bring them in as loans so that you can put that money elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? If we had bought 4 players and then got those 2 on loan as well, oh yeah. But I feel we left ourselves painfully short and we have not got what we need. We have not got what we need.
Savva, it's like last week. Bomber. Ornstein says Spurs are going to go big in January. Like, just shut up. Stop talking. Stop talking. Like, what are you doing? You're building up us all. You're building everyone up to believe, we're going to, the war chest is coming out in January. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Realistically, we signed 1 good player and someone on loan. That's realistically what I think might happen. But this whole Spurs big plans in January. What club ever makes big plans in January? What club can ever do that when you've still got the Champions League going on and the Europa Cup still being played during January? Clubs don't even know whether or not they're going to be able to be in the next round of the cup to keep these players, or whether they're going to be out, or we better move them on. You know, it's madness, man. Bomber.
You're not wrong, Stel, and I think we haven't even got to December yet, right? And it's the usual. Spurs are linked with everyone and their mother.
It's crazy.
Right? It's 1 week. It's Spurs are getting Semenyo in January, and then literally 7 days later, it's like, well, you know, actually Liverpool and Arsenal after him. It's like, well, that's out of the window, then, isn't it? There's absolutely no point listening to that story.
Ivan Toney wants Spurs, does he?
Yeah.
Does he?
I've not heard it.
His club aren't letting him go anywhere. Oh, okay. That's good.
And
That's nice.
That would be one hell of a pay cut he's taking as well.
Why would he want to leave from that? Honestly, in January as well, I'd stay to the end of the season and rack up all my wages.
There's
you really wanted to come back.
Complications with a deal for Ivan Toney because of the tax rules. There's so many. If I'm not wrong, if you leave, let me get this right, because they don't pay tax out there, do they? It's tax free, right? Their salary. If you leave before 3 years, don't you have to back pay tax or something like that?
I don't know what
the
amount is, but there is a thing there.
Yeah. In the Middle East, it's very difficult to take your money out of those countries when you leave. They like you to keep your money in that country and spend it there. That's why they...
Yeah, you're not just packing a suitcase full of all your money and bringing it back to the UK.
Even bank transfers. I think there's like...
Can you imagine it? Tottenham signing Ivan Toney, and the week later he's on an episode of Border Force. Oh, you haven't declared £30,000 down your pants, Tony. Jesus.
But listen, my mate's he's not a professional football player, but he worked in Dubai, and he had to jump ship. Came back to the UK. And there was some bilateral agreement between the UK and Dubai where they took 30% of his money as an exit fee. Maybe not an exit fee, but it was something along those lines. So, listen, Lee's right. Lee's right. If you're Ivan Toney, why are you going to go from 300 grand a week to 100 grand or whatever Spurs are going to pay? Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
You know, he's not a spring chicken anymore. He's doing it for the money. He went there for the money.
Yeah.
What he's now gonna come here because he doesn't care about money anymore.
I guess the link will always be there, right? Because of Frank, right? Because of Frank taking him to Brentford and upskilling him and then moving him on. But for me, still, when we talk about these names like Toney, I want to know that there's enough chefs there, right, at Spurs. I don't mean literal chefs, but you've got Lang, you've got Paratici, you've got however many scouts work underneath those two. You've got recruitment analysts, right? You've got people everywhere. I want to know, right, from the moment that transfer window shut, right? Did it shut on the 1st of September? From the moment that transfer window shut, this is their fucking job. This is their job to prepare for the next transfer window. Speaking to agents, yeah? Who's about? What's the chances that your player wants to move? Yada, yada, yada. I just want to know that we're doing that. And I think the only way we're going to see that is if we move quickly in January, guys. Right? None of this, oh, Spurs have submitted a £70 million bid for Guehi with 2 days of January to go. None of this, oh, hang on, we've got Danso with a couple of days to go because Tomori turned us down from AC Milan. I just want to see that we've got a plan. That's the big thing for me, guys. And even in this summer gone, it didn't feel like there was a plan. It felt like, right, we're going to go for Morgan Gibbs White. When that doesn't work, do you remember what happened, guys? We didn't do anything for a month, did we? Do you remember?
There's never a plan. There's never a plan.
No.
There's never been a plan. There's never been a plan.
That's the point. And that's what I need to see as a fan still, not just in January, but in summer. I need to see that there's a plan. I need to see, just from my own peace of mind, I need to see that there's a plan that doesn't involve signing more 18, 19-year-olds, unless those 18 and 19-year-olds are called Yamal, right? I don't want any more children.
I was saying on, I don't know what show, one of them, Spurs Corner or Spurs 5, I was saying during the week, there's never been a plan. And I know there isn't, because surely if there's a plan, you do this. You say, right, what do we want? We want to win the Premier League. So you write it down. The goal is to win the Premier League. Okay. How long is that going to take? So you look at other clubs who did it the Spurs way of sustainable model. You think, right, 5 years, that's the target. Okay. So you write down 5 years. Then you say, what type of players do we need? What kind of numbers do we need? What kind of profile of player? Then you begin to build up the personnel that you need over those 5 years, where you think you're going to get them from. You say, right, so we know the goal, we know the time frame, we know the staff we need to make it happen. Then you go and recruit the guy to bring it all together, the manager. You say, right, that's the guy that's going to do it. You can't tell me that's been done with Frank, because look at the summer window. You can't say to me it has. So I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. Savva, I've said this, look, I'll ask you guys now. Right, this isn't a criticism against Frank. It's just a question because I don't know the answer. What has Frank been brought in to do? What has he been told he's come to Spurs for? Because I don't know. Is it to win the domestic cup? Is it to win the league in 3 years? Is it to make us just a top 4 club again? Is it to stabilise us because we went through a bad rocky patch? Why is Frank here? Because I can't answer.
I think you called it at the end there. I think you called it at the end there. In my humble opinion, I think he's been brought in to stabilise the football club, because he will stabilise it, because he won't do the rash things that Ange did. He won't scream and shout like Conte did. He will stabilise it. He will come in, do his job, stabilise it. But you're right, still. Yeah, it's professional. But the problem is, like, I've seen loads of people ask the question, like, oh, is Frank the guy that's going to lead you to a title? Is Frank going to... Well, at the moment, no one's going to lead Tottenham to the title with the players that we sign, right? So it's kind of like, what are we doing now? What I will say, just off the back of kind of contradictory to what I just said about and what you just said, Stel, I'll almost forgive them in the summer not having a proper plan because of the change of manager, getting Frank out, all his coaches, Levy, with all that going on in the background. I can almost forget a new CEO. I can almost forgive them for that, but not anymore. Still, not January, summer. There's got to be a plan. There has to be a plan now. Go and execute your plan. Go and show us that you are backing Frank. Because if you go and give Thomas Frank, I'll say this right now, if you go and give Thomas Frank more Bergvals, Grays, Odebergs, Tells, players who everyone thinks have got these massive high ceilings and we'll see the best of them in 2029. If you go and give that to Frank, I'll say it now, and I've heard you say this many times down the years still, then I will no longer care who is manager at this football club. If that is what we're going to do in transfer windows, I will no longer care who is the manager of this football club, because it genuinely doesn't matter. We'll be here in 5 years having the same conversation going, well, yeah, Conte wasn't backed. Yeah, remember Ange wasn't backed. Yeah, do you remember then Frank wasn't backed? Do you remember after Frank we got in Iriola? Yeah, and he wasn't backed either. And now I genuinely don't care if I start seeing more signings. And I don't want all the, sorry for the rant, I don't want all these signings So when they come in, people start going, yeah, oh, but in 3 years and their ceiling. And I want to stop talking about ceilings. I'm not a plasterer, right? I don't want to talk about ceilings. I want to talk about right now. Does this play like I have this with Lubo every single time on stream with him? I don't want to see Archie fucking Gray in central midfield for Tottenham. I don't want to see it. Give me a top quality centre mid. I don't want Archie Gray. I don't want Odegaard on the left wing. All right, maybe in a few years. I don't want him on the left wing now. I don't want Brennan Johnson anymore. Let's get some top players. Rant over. Sorry.
I think
you're right. Sorry, go on, Dan.
Well, the thing with Frank, I think it was more obvious why he was brought into the club when Levy was here, because practically everything about him ticked the sort of thing that Levy would want as such. Someone who's going to play with the cards he's got, someone who's basically not used to having massive money, massive players, be quite happy with, say, 130 million to spend. It's more than he has had. It made perfect sense when Levy was here. Now Levy's gone, you're looking at it a bit different, same as a few other things at the club. Like, what are they actually planning now? Is there a plan? Is anything going to change? And this is what's going to take time. But with what you said, I'll make you right on what you said. If we just keep going buying bloody Archie Grays, Bergvalls, Odegaards, Tells and everything, then Frank is just going to keep doing what he's doing with us and playing us like we're Brentford, because he's only going to have that. He's barely going to have the quality of players to do anything else with.
I think just to add to that as well, listen, Frank is I think the whole team in the club, including Frank, are under the spotlight right now just purely because, A, we don't know whether Frank's got the pedigree to do anything with a good squad, because we've only got an average squad at the moment, right? So, I mean, do you think we'd be having a very different conversation if we had actually bought enough players in the summer to shore up all of those positions we were lacking in, and we were still in the same position? Do you think the conversation we'd be having right now was a very different one, and it'd be very much more focused on Frank?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's done nothing really. I'm with Stel with when he says Frank's done absolutely nothing to convince me that he can win us anything at this club. He's taken he done well with an average Brentford team and has coached some players, but that's a different kettle of fish when you come to Spurs that's got more money and stuff. Now you really have to show that you're a good manager. I'm giving him leeway this summer because of the squad or this season. But imagine if we'd actually bought another 3 or 4 players in the summer, you know, and we're still in this position, then I think we're having a very, very different conversation.
I would be hot. People always want me to be harsher on Frank. If Spurs had gone and bought in the 2 players that we were massively after Savio and Morgan Gibbs-White. If Spurs right now had Morgan Gibbs-White in the number 8, right? Savio on the left, right? Maddison and Kulu were fit, and we were seeing what we're seeing. I've got big issues with it, right? But at the moment, I struggle to have big issues with him because I'm looking at the players. I'm looking at fans say, be brave. And then I'm looking at Johnson and Richarlison and Tell and Odegaard and going, how brave can you be with these footballers? So I agree, Lee. I completely agree with you as well. Frank's got to prove everything. But I just want to say there is this one comment, and I know Stel needs to go in a second. I'll wrap up in 5 minutes as well. But Lynn, when you're saying in your humble opinion, you don't think Frank will get the backing because Frank isn't at the level to stand his ground and ask for more. But guys, with this point, we've had Jose, right? We've had Conte, right? I heard this. All of these managers haven't been backed, right? All of them. Are we saying that Jose and Conte were shrinking violets behind the scenes?
I think with her comment, the only manager that stood his ground, I think, was Conte. But that was it was an execution in the making.
No, he's the only one that stood his ground in public, right?
In public, yeah.
This is the difference, right? Are you telling me behind the scenes, Jose Mourinho was not kicking? Like, we all know Jose. Are you telling me when Jose Mourinho's given Joe Roden, he's probably going, sorry, what? Like, sorry, what? You bought me a kid from Swansea City.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think the difference is Mourinho, Poch, Redknapp, these all the other managers, they just inevitable to be fired. Where Conte said, "No, sack me now. Fuck this. Just you sack me now. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep throwing you under a bus." And in the end, they had no choice. But look, guys, I have to shoot. I just want to say, I don't know if you've covered it, but I just want to say tomorrow, I think we're going to put in a diabolical performance. I really don't think we're going to do at all. Expect the worst. But having said that, I've just got this really weird feeling we're going to walk away with a point from this game. And I don't know how. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just think we're going to come out of it saying, fuck me, I'll take that. So I just think we're going to get a draw tomorrow. I think we're going to get a 1-1.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take
let's round off.
Take 2 points away from
the show with that then. Lee and Dan, if you need to go immediately still, but if not, I'm just going to round up with everyone to give me their prediction.
Round it up.
Lee, round it off for me. What are you expecting tomorrow from the game, and what's the score going to be?
I think, I don't know. I think the scores are relevant. I want to watch us go there and give them a game. I don't want, if we lose 3-1, 2-1 or whatever, as long as we've given them a game, I'll be happy. This is Arsenal, top of the league. They're winning games. They're expected to win. If we come away with a draw, I'll absolutely take that. Take 2 points away from their start challenge.
Hold on. What if we put in a stink fest? What if we're absolutely dog shit? What if Xavi Simons gets bullied by Zubimendi and Declan Rice like he did with Enzo and Casado? What if it's another one of those games, but we walk away with a draw? Are you not going to be happy with that?
Oh,
just ask that.
I mean, I think I'd be happy with it. No, don't get me wrong. I'd be happy with a draw if we stunk the place out. But yeah, of course I'd take a draw even if we stunk the place out. But I don't want to go to Arsenal and stink the place out. We moaned about it against other teams. We get a draw. Yeah,
mate. This team, they've conceded 1 goal at home all year in the Premier League. They're top of the table. Liverpool and Man City have just gifted them a wonderful opportunity to shit all over us tomorrow. And on top of it, they have conceded the least amount of shots against them all season of any club. We are walking into hell, like absolute hell. And people say, no, but I've got a feeling. No, listen, we're in trouble. Let's take the point and get out there. You know, Brian Daigle said to me, we're winning 2-1. You wait and see. I can't wait to call you after. I said, Brian, if we win 2-1, I mean, Frank for life.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, so Lee, draw, win, lose?
I think, in my heart, I think it's going to be a loss, but yeah.
Okay.
It is
what Stell's going for a 1-1. Dan?
I mean, I'm pretty much word for word with what Lee said in that aspect. I mean, do I see us getting a point or a win tomorrow? No, I do not, with everything Stell just said in them. But can it be done and we get a draw? I could see it happening because Arsenal are known over the past few years to screw it up when it matters. But at the end of the day, like Ferguson said, come on, lads, it's Tottenham.
We're the best away team in the league, Dan. We're the best away team in the league.
As long as I see
we've got something
effort in. As long as I see us go for it. If we go for that game and we basically do a Chelsea, and there's no heart and soul in there, no bollocks in it, they don't man up, they don't get their act together, it's not just the team I'm going to question. I've then got big questions for Frank. Because if he can't get that team hyped up for a Chelsea game and an Arsenal game, I've now got severe questions about this manager, not just the team.
Even
if we go and get banged 3-0, that'll keep everybody quiet. That's the thing. The result will keep everyone quiet. If we go and have the worst game ever, but get a draw out of it, people, me included, are going to be able to say, do you know what? We'll see the next one, yeah? But if we turn up and do a Chelsea, no heart and soul in it, players don't look like they're hyped up for the game, and we go get beaten, whether it's 1-0 or 10-0, I'm going to have big questions for that manager on the capability of hyping up the team, basically. I think we can squeeze a draw out of it. Do I see it happening? No, I don't. I see a 3-1 to Arsenal.
Guys, I could do some super chats and then I'll end the show. Just so you know, before I do that, guys, Spurs are on average at 8-1 with the bookmakers to win this game. 8 1.
What's your prediction, Savva?
My head, as a rational human being, says that I think we're going to get a bit of a lesson and lose. My heart says a draw would be a phenomenal point. If we win, then build a statue outside the ground. Build a statue of Frank outside the Emirates. I think we're going to have to withstand a lot of Arsenal pressure tomorrow. Like, I think it's going to be wave after wave of attack, and I think.
Do you think them missing Gabriel as their main step piece goal scorer is actually they've got an issue there, or not?
I don't think they've got an issue. I mean, obviously he's absolutely brilliant at what he does, but let's be fair, Hincapié and Mosquera are very, very capable, more than capable replacements. And Arsenal, the thing is, it's what we said earlier. So,
no, I mean, in the attacking sense.
Yeah, no, I know. Look, yeah, I mean, look, it's good that he's not playing. It is good that he's not playing, but they've got so many goal threats across this team. Declan Rice, Zubimendi's grabbed goals, Eze, Trossard, Saka. If Mikel Merino plays, he grabs goals, doesn't it? Like, they've got so many goal threats. I listen. If I'll sell you my nan right now for a draw. You know what I mean? Like, I'd take a point right now. And I think if anybody is not happy if we get a draw tomorrow, questions need to be asked, because a draw at the Emirates would be bloody amazing. Let me just do some super chats and I'll wrap up the show. First of all, big up to Aussie Frank Lover. Thank you very much, my man. Really appreciate you. Always very generous to me. Really appreciate that, mate. And to Dean Law, always with the super stickers. Dean, thanking you as well. Appreciate that. Big up to Emma Morton. She's up there on T-side. T-side? We're side? T-side, I think. Just says, evening, Savva. Good evening to you, Emma. Hope you are well. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Wayne Holland. Leicester City have started to put a few wins together, haven't they, Wayne? Flying back up that table. Big up to you for the super sticker, my man. I hope all is well with you. Clive Morton has said, difference between Arsenal and Spurs is recruitment. Yeah, I saw the numbers being, I think it was the Spurs 5 were talking about the amounts were pretty similar over the last 6 years, but Arsenal just buy quality players and we buy a lot of kids that people pretend are really good. So completely agree with you, Clive. Big up to Jordan, very generous indeed. Said, really generous, thank you, mate. Said, what I will never understand about Spurs is we can loan Werner twice, but we will let a Grealish go to Everton on loan. Villa got Asensio and Rashford on loan last season. Why are we never in for these types of players? Jordan, that's what I need to see from my director of football moving forward, is when an Asensio or a Rashford is available on loan, go and bloody get them. It's a no-brainer. These are no-brainers, taking these sorts of players on loan.
Grealish wasn't good enough.
Still, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I think it's wages. Like, Aston Villa's wage bill was ridiculously high as well. So I think with us, we need to push the wage bill up a little bit so we can do it.
Yeah. But I mean, let's be fair, right? The number of people said about Rashford right now, Marcus Rashford would be our most dangerous forward and our top goal scorer. Let's make no bones about that.
Yeah. Do you know, saying that, we did put Werner on 150 grand a week, which is fucking mental.
Gosh. Ryan, big up to you, my man. Hope you're well. Up there in Scotland, I said, we need to sort out a striker, left winger, right winger would be great, but this is ENIC and it's not happening. So they need to sell the club ASAP. Well, they've rejected 2 approaches. Show us why you rejected the approaches. Show us, because if you don't, it is what it is. Big up, Ryan. And then last but not least, again, Jordan, way too generous with the super chats, my man. Thank you very much. As said, Newcastle have Lewis Miley on the bench, who is 19, but he is sitting on the bench watching Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali. That's what we should be doing with a Bergvall, not signing more kids to go alongside him. Bang on. That's what I keep saying. I don't see Newcastle fans, whenever I'm streaming with Newcastle fans, they're not doing what we're doing with Archie Gray and Bergvall, going, Miley's got to play. Nah. Guimaraes, Joe Linton, Tonali. 3 experienced pros, powerful, strong, quick. That is what I want to see in the midfield for Tottenham. That sort of caliber, not Archie Gray and Bergvall. Just saying. Big up to you, Jordan. Really appreciate that.
Tonali, such an underrated player in my opinion.
Class.
I think he's so underrated. He is a quality player.
Class player. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let me just quickly see if anybody is live that I can redirect people to, and then we'll wrap up. Let's have a look if anyone's crazy enough to be live.
Listen, guys, I've got to go. I wish you all the best. Have a good night.
See you, mate.
Good
Take
luck.
care. Who is live? I'm going to send you over to, hang on. We've got Donna Sam. You've got, that's a fight going on. It's a fight thing. I'll send you over to Donna Sam. And when you get over there, just say Savva Raid or FHTV Raid. Much love. Lee, thank you very much. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for coming on.
No worries. Always welcome. Thank you for having me.
And Danny, as always, appreciate it, mate. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you tomorrow at some stage.
Take it easy.
Guys, girls, enjoy your evening. Well, enjoy your mornings now. Take care. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.